Hello, Jonathan Peabody here. I would like to share with you some valuable information I came across while I was helping my granddaughter move into her new home. As I was moving boxes into the basement, I stumbled across a journal that was hidden away in the back far corner of the basement. I reached for it and began to thumb through it. What I read was mind-blowing information. I found out the journal was written by an old real estate attorney. His name was Arthur Zimmerman. He helped the local neighbors from losing their homes from foreclosure. What I read in this journal was at least 50 pages filled with addresses from all over the city and country, with dates going back over 25 years. It contained the name of major banks as well. I also noticed the words saved and method were underlined. I was curious to know what does methods used mean. There were numbers that referenced the methods. As I read through the journal, it said, Method 1, talk to the lender, Method 3, forbearance agreement, Method 6, GAP and HAMP programs. There were 10 other methods that were mentioned, a total of 13 methods. As I dove deeper into the journal, my eyes opened even wider. I don't know much about mortgages, but I have over 30 years in the financial services industry, and some of the information I read and understood, but some of the methods I read I was not familiar with. So I reached out to an old associate of mine's. His name is Thourton Howard. He was president of several major banks. I invited him over to have a cigar and a little brandy to see if he could make out what was in this journal, but before I shared the journal with him, I needed to invite him for a friendly round of brandy and a Cuban cigar. I knew he would come. No gentleman would turn down a Cuban and a snifter of brandy. My old friend arrived. As we enjoyed the aroma of the Monte Cristo, I handed him the journal so he could read through the pages. He suddenly stopped reading and bellowed, "Where did you get this?" His facial expressions looked as if he had seen a ghost. He asked me again, "Where did you get this?" I replied, "From my granddaughter's home." "Why, do you ask?" Thourton had said this journal had cost the bank millions of dollars. The information in this journal should be put away or destroyed. He asked if I had shared the journal with anyone else. I said, "Only with my granddaughter." Thourton then asked me would I be interested in selling the journal. The thought had never crossed my mind. Now, I started thinking, it seems there's more to this journal than I thought. I said no, I wasn't interested in selling. But I was curious to know why he would want this old journal. It was as if he didn't hear a word I said. He ignored what I said and proceeded to pull out his checkbook and said, "Name your price. How about $1,000? Better yet, I will double it to $2,000. Let's make it $5,000. I looked at him in disbelief. $5,000 for this old journal. Thourton said to me, "Jonathan, surely you have a price. Name it." I was confused. What is it that has my old friend on edge about an old journal? He said the information in the journal would cost the bank millions of dollars if it got into the wrong hands. I said, "Wrong hands? What are you saying?" Thourton proceeded to tell me, "This journal has valuable information that can turn the tables against the banks. It would change the playing field in favor of the homeowners, and we can't have that. So tell me, what is your price?" "Jonathan," he said, "let me explain to you how important the information in that journal is." He proceeded to share with me how the banks operates when homeowners are in default facing foreclosure. He said when a property goes into default, the bank's foreclosure department begins to call the homeowner to find out why are they late with their payment, and when will they make a payment to bring their loan current. But the homeowner rarely replies back for help. We have to call them. It's the law. We have to reach out to them. If not, we can get into trouble with the feds and get hit with hefty fines. Now we go to the second stage of the foreclosure. It's called the Notice of Trustee Sale. We reach out again, but they still don't respond. It's like they ignore the calls, the voicemails that we leave them, as well as the letters we send out. We have called more than a dozen times and left more than a dozen voice messages. We have sent out more than a dozen letters. Yet after all the efforts to reach out to the homeowner, they still don't respond. So when the time runs out, we foreclose. So Thurston goes on to say, that attorney Arthur Zimmerman started getting involved with the homeowners, and he would find loopholes in a handling of their foreclosure, a few minor procedures, a few papers that slipped through the cracks. So we didn't record or didn't fill out 1 or 2 letters or notices, so we forgot. So what? Because of what some intern forgotten to do. What's the big deal? They never responded to the other letters, and they were going to lose the home anyway. We're just saving a little time and money for the bank. We slip up a few times, but who cares? They should be paying their mortgage on time. We know they won't be able to bring the loan current. So why should we wait for something we know they can't do? Besides, their passive behavior has cost my bank millions of dollars in fees. So now you know, Jonathan, why I need that journal, so no one will ever use that attorney information against us again. The nerve of that guy trying to be the Robin Hood to the homeowner. I get sick when I hear his name, Zimmerman. This guy has cost us millions. Thank goodness Zimmerman is no longer here, and that book should have been buried with him. So I need you to destroy that book. I will up my offer to $10,000 for it right now. I said to my old friend, why are you acting like that? You act like it's your money. Besides, you're retired. You don't work for the bank anymore. Thurston replied with a sarcastic grin. I still receive benefits from the bank, and yes, I am losing money. I told my friend I think the information in this journal should be shared with everyone who is having financial hardship, so they won't lose their home. We're talking about people's homes, where they raise their children. Some of the people may have fallen on hard times. They need this information, Thurston replied. If there was concern about their home, they should have answered the phone, returned the calls, and opened their mail from the bank. So if they don't care, why should we? And shortly after that, he left upset with me. It's been more than 10 years, and I haven't seen nor spoken with Thurston. I concluded that he wasn't truly my friend, so I started to read the journal, to learn what was so valuable that Thurston was willing to give me $10,000 to destroy that journal. I wanted to know everything about foreclosures, the methods to use to help the people that are facing foreclosure. I read and studied every page. I stayed up all hours of the night, barely getting any sleep. I wanted to master it. I understood the difference between judicial and non-judicial foreclosure, and why that was so important. In stopping a foreclosure, I researched that each has their own foreclosure proceeding and time clock. I wanted to provide the same service that Arthur Zimmerman did, so I took everything I learned from the journal and what I could make out, and I found the 13 most used methods that Arthur Zimmerman used in his journal. It reads, 13 ways to stop a foreclosure, the inside secrets on what your bank doesn't want you to know. I truly believe this report should be shared with anyone who is facing foreclosure. By following the methods in this report, the 13 ways of stopping your foreclosure, anyone should be able to save their home by applying what's in this report. I hope you take advantage of this and share it with all of your friends and family. I don't know how long this video will be up or be available. The powers that be is doing everything they can to prevent me from sharing this valuable information. So take advantage of this while you can. Share this video. I have noticed since I exposed the secrets in this journal, my home has been broken into several times. I was just fortunate to not be there. Since then, I have given copies of the journal to several of my associates along with my granddaughter, just in case something was to happen to me or if it gets stolen. I often wondered, could my old friend Thurston be behind the break-ins? I won't give the name of the individuals who has copies. I don't want anything to happen to them, rest assured. It's in a safe place. I have copies hidden throughout the country. If anything was to happen to me, I instructed the individuals to continue to distribute the information to whoever needed it. I also made this video available to have a record of this journal, and so you could find me. If you want a copy of the special report, what your bank doesn't want you to know, the 13 ways to stop a foreclosure, reach out to the person who shared this video with you. You may be helping someone keep their family and their home. Don't delay. There are forces out there that would do anything to keep this report from you. The foreclosure clock is ticking, and every second counts. Get the report now, and be sure to contact the individual who shared this video with you. Together we can defeat the bank at their own game by sharing this information. Sincerely, Jonathan Peabody.